A very warm welcome to all our viewers and welcome to a new edition of Africa Today, our show bringing you all the latest news and developments inside the African continent. I'm Angie Meher joining you for today's edition of the show. As usual, we begin straight away with a look at some of the news making the headlines. Beginning with Cairo, Tunis and Algeria that have called for immediate withdrawal of all foreign forces from Libya. This came during a trilateral consultation held in Tunisia, where the Foreign Minister Abdel reaffirmed support for a comprehensive Libyan-led political settlement that upholds the country's unity, sovereignty and stability. We have the details in this report.
Egypt, Tunisia and Algeria on Monday underscored that Libya's security and stability are critical to broader Arab, Sahel and Sahara stability, calling for intensified regional coordination to address risks and threats. The statement followed a tripartite ministerial meeting in Tunis, part of the neighboring states' consultation framework on Libya, attended by Foreign Minister Abdel, Tunisian counterpart Mohamed Ali Nafti, Algerian Foreign Minister Ahmed Attaf, and United Nations Secretary General Special Representative for Libya, Hanna Tete. The minister stated that the supreme interest of Libya and its people should guide all efforts, supporting regional and UN initiatives aimed at comprehensive political settlement that safeguards Libya's territorial unity and resources. We reiterated that Libya's political process must be Libyan-led, inclusive of all parties, and aimed at building a unified state with stable institutions capable of ensuring security, development and prosperity. The ministers urged Libyan factions to prioritize dialogue, unify military and security institutions, and work with the Joint Military Committee to hold concurrent presidential and parliamentary elections. The statement also stressed keeping Libya free from foreign interventions, withdrawing mercenaries and foreign fighters, and allowing Libyans to reach internal agreements without external pressure. The ministers highlighted the importance of strengthening economic ties across Libya to support social and economic development. Tunisia offered to host high-level meetings with all relevant Libyan parties to advance a comprehensive framework for political resolution. The ministers agreed to hold the next tripartite consultation in Cairo and maintain regular coordination to align strategies.
Welcome back, and for more on this, we're delighted to be joined over the telephone by our guest for the afternoon, Mr. Rahman, the journalist. Good afternoon to you, sir.
And good afternoon to you and to the dear viewers.
Thank you very much, Mr. Amr, for your time. Let me start by asking you, how do you weigh the importance of Libya's stability, not just for Libya as a country, but for the wider region as a whole, sir?
Libya is our own Western strategic front and a very brotherly nation, and we have a long history of that brotherhood, as well as the challenges that we are together, Egypt and the Libyan people are up against since more than 15 years now. We have witnessed together and took the burden together of the chaos that was ignited in Libya since the beginning of the what I call it the Zionist spring. Yes. And of course, today we are living or witnessing the consequences of that chaotic scene since the very beginning. That was never solved or resolved in the proper way until now. I believe today Libya is already divided almost into two sectors, and they are conflicting with each other. Mm-hmm. And the association there, they are more than an association that is not internationally recognized. So I believe that the scene there is a true threat to the Libyans and to the Egyptians.
Yes.
And of course, we are the main power, the main source of power that the Libyans truly should rely on.
Absolutely.
To face that chaotic scene.
Indeed. Now, Mr. Amr, how do you see this agreement amongst the three countries, Cairo, Tunis and Algeria, regarding principles that should guide efforts related to the Libyan file?
This is a very important effort because together Egypt and Tunisia and Algeria is a great nation and a great country and a brotherly country and a strong and a strong ally to Egypt. Of course, we have together a duty towards the Libyans for them to regain their stability, for them to regain their unity as a country at least. So I believe this is a very important effort and a very important role. It's our duty to do this.
Yes, indeed.
So I believe this is a very important issue to Egypt. And concerning the three countries, Egypt and Tunisia and Algeria, it means that we are putting off a fire that is threatening all of our own national security.
Yes, absolutely. Now, Mr. Amr, how do you see the call by the three countries regarding the immediate withdrawal of all foreign forces and the exit of all foreign interventions and mercenaries as well as fighters from Libya?
Well, this is the ultimate goal here.
Yes.
This is the ultimate target because the foreign existence, whether from the U.S., from Russia, is a true threat to our own national security and
yes.
even to the Libyans. And as I have mentioned earlier, Egypt and of course the other brothers to Libya like Algeria are the only powers we can rely on. Together we can protect the sovereignty and the stability and seeking prosperity as a step further for the Libyan nation. Without the interference, without the foreign interference, we have witnessed also the interference of even some regional powers that are trying to ignite the chaos and this instability to Libya, and using some other forces, some forces within the Libyan lines to threat either the Libyan stability or other countries like Sudan. Some regional powers are using what's going on in Libya for more an expansion for the chaos, using using them as mercenaries to undermine the stability in Sudan. We are today witnessing the emerging of a terroristic regime in Sudan,
yes.
but hopefully not, of course.
Yes. Right. Let's talk a bit about, the suggestion that elections should be held in Libya, etc. Of course, it is a process, still a long way in order to reach this. But how do you see the, unifying of military and security institutions in coordination with the Joint Military Committee could help create, conditions that would be conducive to holding successful presidential and parliamentary elections eventually?
Okay, I believe that step of this electoral procedure should be crowning the end of the effort or the ultimate
yes.
goal achieved. Mm-hmm. But this is too early to talk about elections, as well as until we reach a resolution to
yes.
unite the Libyan nation, the Libyan people around one leadership. Then we can talk elections. That's my opinion. I believe that until this country, as long as this country is divided, we can never expect any positive results from an election run in a sector and the other sector is not recognizing the results of that election.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
I believe without the unity of the Libyans, they can never be a true solid election that can be recognized domestically and internationally.
Indeed, Mr. Amr. And also, do you expect this call by the three countries for a high-level meeting with all the Libyan parties to somehow advance a political framework to be answered?
Well, of course, we can never expect a yes answer from all the leaders in Libya, because I believe that if the Libyan people, the Libyan nation, are really serious and aware of how critical the situation is today in Libya, according to the international and regional scene, they should realize that some faces in the Libyan political arena should disappear. And I believe this is a time for emerging new faces, new leaders or leadership in Libya with a mentality of unity, with a mentality of non-conflict situation. The situation now needs people who gather, not to divide,
Yes.
who are gathering people around the nation in Libya, not seeking their own narrow interest on the account or on the behalf of the best interest for the Libyan nation. So I believe without the disappearance of some faces in the Libyan, this should not be happening without the effort and the convention of the Libyan people. They should have some changes in their own arena, in their own political.
Indeed. And this leads us. Yes, Mr. Amr, this leads us to, the reason why they are insisting on a Libyan-led, inclusive political process to really make sure that it doesn't affect the legitimacy and sustainability of any future settlement politically in Libya.
Exactly. We don't need no more conflict. We don't need we don't need no more argument. We don't need no more fighting between themselves. This is an era should be ended, and without excluding the faces and the hands that has took part in this conflict before, we can never expect a better scene in Libya.
Indeed. Now, Mr. Amr, let's move a bit to some of the, potential political as well as economic consequences of this continued instability in Libya. How do you see this? What are your expectations if they don't reach such a settlement very, very soon?
I believe that we are all suffering from those threats. Today, what's going on in Sudan is a direct consequence of what's going on in Libya, partially, of course, because the mercenaries and the weapons and the terroristic elements that are pouring into Sudan, coming from the east and coming also from the west. I believe today, and of course they are both connected. I believe what's going on in Libya has affected already the stability of Sudan. Sudan today is divided into more than 3 states. I'm talking on the ground. I don't mean it officially, but today we are witnessing the division of the northern Sudan.
Yes, I understand.
And true threat to our own national security.
So indeed.
This is a very important threat.
Absolutely. I'm going to have to leave it at that. I'd like to thank you very, very much. Mr. Amr Abdel Rahman, our guest, the journalist, thank you very much, sir, for your time and your insight and for joining us on today's edition of Africa Today. Moving to more news, the General Commander of the Armed Forces, the Minister of Defense and Military Production, General Abdel met with the visiting Congolese Deputy Prime Minister, as well as the Minister of Defense and Veterans, Guy Kambombo. An official reception was held for the Congolese minister at the Defense Ministry's headquarters, and national anthems of the two countries were played. Two ministers then held talks on enhancing military cooperation amid the latest regional and international developments and their impacts on the security and the stability of the continent. The Congolese guest also expressed appreciation for Egypt over its pioneering role in supporting African security, stability and development, saying that he looked forward to expand military cooperation with the Egyptian armed forces. And the Sudanese army said it had broken a long-running siege of Dilling, a city in the country's south, where the paramilitary forces had choked off access for more than a year and a half. Since April 2023, Sudan has been engulfed in a conflict between the army and the paramilitary rapid support forces, known as the RSF, that has killed tens of thousands of people. It confirmed the advance would secure the army's both the northern and southern approaches to Dilling, located in South Kordofan state. city lies halfway between Kadugli, the besieged state capital, and El Obeid, the capital of the neighboring North Kordofan, which the RSF has sought to encircle. More than 65,000 people have fled the region since October, according to the latest figures published by the United Nations. And for more news, the United Nations mission in South Sudan, UNMISS, is sounding the alarm over the threat of escalating violence on Jonglei State, which is putting lives at risk and further weakening prospects. We have more details in the story.
South Sudan, the world's youngest country, seceded from Sudan in July 2011, but soon slid into civil war, with fighting between forces loyal to either President Salva Kiir or the main opposition leader, First Vice President Riek Machar. Despite a 2018 peace agreement and the establishment of a transitional unity government, clashes and tensions persist. UNMISS said communities in Jonglei and other locations are suffering immense harm from the escalating conflict, including direct military confrontations between forces. The UN Commission on Human Rights in South Sudan expressed grave alarm over the situation in Jonglei, saying the inflammatory rhetoric by senior military figures and reports of forced mobilizations. The UN Commission on Human Rights in South Sudan expressed grave alarm over the situation in Jonglei, saying the inflammatory rhetoric by senior military figures and reports of forced mobilization significantly heighten the risk of mass violence against civilians and further erode the peace agreement. The UN noted that under international law, military and civilian leaders who commit crimes or who exercise effective control over forces may be held criminally responsible. It said furthermore, those who fail to prevent or punish crimes they knew about or should have known were being committed are equally criminally liable. The Commission called for all parties to immediately cease inflammatory rhetoric and forced mobilization to de-escalate tensions. The Commission on Human Rights in South Sudan was first established by the UN Human Rights Council in March 2016, and its mandate has been renewed annually.
Moving to Mozambique, where the government said 20,000 people have been rescued from flood-stricken areas in the country. It said the rescue operations involved 44 boats, 9 helicopters, 4 light aircraft and 1 amphibious vessel. The details.
The Mozambican government and its partners had rescued 9,254 people from the flood-stricken areas of southern Mozambique. According to a release from the Mozambican government, 11,963 victims were rescued from Maputo province and 7,561 from the neighboring province of Gaza. Flood victims are being housed in 94 government-run accommodation centers. The Mozambican Relief Agency, the National Disaster Management Institute, provided the centers with what the government describes as reasonable amounts of food and other necessities to meet the demand in this critical phase. The government says the assistance capacity is growing steadily as more resources are made available by government bodies, cooperation partners, and various humanitarian organizations. The country's main north-south highway, EN1, remains cut at several points in Maputo and Gaza provinces. The worst cut is at Inkolowane, about 100 kilometers north of Maputo city. Several kilometers of the road have been washed away by the floodwaters of the Nkomati River. Road transport has been replaced by aircraft and boats.
For our final news item, Senegal's first aqua gym program has drawn praise from health professionals for helping people with reduced mobility caused by non-communicable diseases. The aqua gym program, with its low-impact exercises, has drawn praise from health professionals for helping people with reduced mobility caused by chronic illnesses such as heart disease, stroke, and arthritis. The aqua gym has emerged a little over a decade ago as a rare, low-cost option to relieve pain and improve mobility. On that, ladies and gentlemen, a positive health note and update all the way from the Senegal, we wrap up today's edition of Africa Today. You're in the company of myself, Angie Meher. Many thanks for watching.